Right now at noon, the National Weather Service says a tornado touched down in Deerfield yesterday. We'll have a look at the damage. Plus, more than 250,000 people had their information compromised in Adams County. We'll have the very latest. And NFL players took the field last night in preseason action, and several players are continuing to protest against what they see as injustice in America.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Friday afternoon. We'll get to all those stories in just a bit. But first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at our first alert forecast. A little less humid today.
A little less humid. Did you see the fog this morning?
Yeah, I did. It was pretty thick.
That was pretty thick. That's now out of here, so we have no worries about that from here on out. It's a fantastic afternoon and a fantastic weekend as well. Already plenty of sunshine out there, though a few upper clouds cannot be ruled out there. 79 degrees, the temperature, dew points into the low 60s. Temperatures are all in the upper 70s and low 80s, and that's where things are really going to top out as we go through the rest of the afternoon. We should see those highs here in Madison right around 82 degrees. Will be partly sunny and, of course, less humid, as Mark noted. But that's going to be the case for all of us. Your southern zones will see lots of sunshine and temperatures in the low 80s, low and mid 80s. As you work your way back towards the west, northern zones will see those temperatures into the low and mid 80s as well. And there's a whole lot more where that came from, Mark, as we go into the weekend. It's going to be pretty fantastic.
Looking forward to that. All right, Chris, we'll see you in a few minutes. The National Weather Service confirmed this morning that a tornado briefly touched down in Deerfield yesterday. Officials say the short-lived tornado happened around 3:50 in the village of Deerfield. The tornado tore off the roof of an industrial building, knocked down trees in the area, and damaged a home. Playground equipment also damaged in Deerfield Community Park. Personal identifying information of more than 258,000 people was compromised over the last 5 years due to a data breach in Adams County databases. Officials say on June 29th, Adams County received a forensics report that personal identification information, personal health information, and tax intercept information for 258,120 individuals whose information was on the computer networks and systems was compromised. Departments impacted by the breach include the Veterans Service Office, Extension Office, Adams County employees, Solid Waste, Health and Human Services, Child Support, and the Sheriff's Office. The breach impacted information from January 2013 through March of this year. Officials say a criminal investigation is still ongoing, but they have identified suspects connected to the breach. 2 police officers were among 4 people killed in a shooting in Canada. Police say it happened in the eastern Canadian city of Fredericton, and 1 person was taken into custody. They say the investigation is ongoing and the suspect is being treated for serious injuries. More than 200,000 people are being chased from their homes by historic wildfires in Southern California that intensified overnight, prompting evacuation orders. The so-called holy fire that officials say was deliberately set has spread across 10,000 acres and is only 5% contained. Forrest Clark, the man who allegedly started the fire, was living at the campground where the fire started and allegedly threatened to burn down the area before.
I'm pissed. I'm outraged. I'm disgusted. I want people to understand that one man caused this devastation for no apparent reason.
Clark is charged with arson. He's expected to appear before a judge later today. If found guilty, he could face life in prison. International outrage is growing over an airstrike in Yemen that hit a bus full of school children.
At least 21 boys, most of them aged under 15, were among those killed, and 35 other boys were injured.
The children were returning from a summer camp when their driver stopped to grab a drink at a market. As they sat waiting, an airstrike hit the bus. A Saudi-led coalition, which the U.S. supports, carried out the bombing. The UN and the State Department are calling for an independent investigation. The NFL players took to the field for the first preseason games last night, kicking off another back and forth with President Trump, that is, who opposes those who choose to demonstrate during the national anthem. Trump tweeted, "The NFL players are at it again, taking a knee when they should be standing proudly for the national anthem." And then he added, numerous players from different teams wanted to show their outrage at something that most of them are unable to define. Players, including Miami Dolphins receiver Kenny Stills, says he will continue to protest this season.
Being a part of this protest hasn't been easy. And, you know, I thought I was going to be by myself out there, and today I had an angel with me, with Albert being out there, and you know, I'm grateful that he sees what's happening and he wants to stand up and do something about it as well.
The NFL says no players will be disciplined for the demonstrations while the league continues to discuss the issue with the players' union. All systems are go as NASA prepares to launch a spacecraft that'll travel closer to the sun than ever before. NASA hopes to go there with the Parker Solar Probe. The probe is designed to fly through the sun's corona, that is the outermost part of its atmosphere. To withstand 2,500-degree heat, scientists developed a 4-inch carbon shield to keep the interior near room temperature. The spacecraft is about the size of a small car. It'll start its journey riding on one of the largest rockets in the world.
In a lot of ways, it's an ending. The spacecraft is going into space, but it's really a beginning because now we're starting to take the science data that's going to change our view of the sun forever.
Traveling at 430 miles an hour, the Parker Solar Probe will orbit the sun 24 times over the next 7 years. Launch time at Florida's Kennedy Space Center is 3:33 Saturday morning. Pretty cool, or hot in that case. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. I'm next. We'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Grab your flip-flops and your beach towel, because we're whipping up a poolside treat that is splash-tacular. In the South, when it comes to what they call fluff, everyone seems to have a different opinion about what goes in it. And for those of us who are not from that neck of the woods, we often wonder what the fascination is that is until we try it. For some, fluff is a combo of gelatin mixed with fruit, cottage cheese, and whipped topping, while others make it more like an ambrosia, which is how we're making it today. For that, all we do is combine a package of instant coconut cream pudding mix with a can of fruit cocktail, with the juice and all, a can of crushed pineapple that we've drained, and a splash of vanilla. Once that's mixed, we fold in some whipped topping, a good amount of mini marshmallows, shredded coconut, and a few chopped almonds. And that's all there is to it. And whether you bring it to a potluck dinner or serve it poolside for a light and refreshing treat, you can't go wrong. Dish it up and let the party begin. So rather than worrying about what to make for your next gathering, all you have to do is go online now and you'll have the recipe for what we call poolside party fluff. I know you'll be glad you did. And since it's nice and light, we won't have to wait long before we head back in the pool. I'm Howard from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where every day we're looking for a splash-tacular way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Hart, thank you. Coming up on News 3 at noon, a partly sunny and warm day across southern Wisconsin. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your weekend forecast when we come back. Our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. The number 608-270-2833. Well, Party City decides if you can't beat them, join them, and McDonald's is giving away the chance to get free food for life. Diane King Hall has more in today's Money Watch report.
The cost of living in the U.S. rose in July. According to the Labor Department, consumer prices ticked up 0.2%. The increase in inflation was in line with expectations. Rising housing costs sent prices higher. Food prices also rose. Samsung is out with its newest device, the Galaxy Note 9. It has a bigger screen than its predecessor, a larger battery, a camera that can tell when a subject blinks, and other upgrades. The price tag is steep at almost $1,000 for the lower cost model. Pre-orders begin today. The phone will be available at all major carriers August 24th. Amazon and Party City are teaming up. The chain, known for its quirky costumes and party favors, says it is testing a pilot program on Amazon ahead of Halloween this year. Party City says it will offer an assortment of items, but with a big focus on Halloween costumes. And McDonald's is giving away the chance to become a member of its secret society with the McGold Card Contest. A McGold card gets the holder free burgers and fries for 50 years. To enter the contest, you have to order your food and pay through the McDonald's app. That gets you one entry. George Clooney, Warren Buffett, and Bill Gates are all rumored to be a part of the exclusive McGold Club. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Diane, thank you. The Dow Industrial is down 179 points at the noon hour. The NASDAQ is down 27. Well, let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee. I'm surprised to see you today after Pam last night.
I didn't drive up last night. I decided that I'd let husband park cars up at the house.
Okay,
but they had
there
a full crew, that's for sure. Beautiful weather up in Green Bay while we were sitting with a little bit of rain down here. But yeah, we're off in the right direction as far as last night's game. Off in the right direction over at State Fair Park, too. I just got an update from the dairy products auction that happened last night. They raised more than $42,000 that will be used towards dairy scholarships for our Wisconsin kids. That's the upside of my news today, folks. We got a big USDA crop report out. World Ag Supply demand numbers from the federal government at 11 a.m. Central, and our markets are taking a nosedive. There was not one bullish piece of information in the market anywhere. The corn yield is now expected by the government to come in at 178.4 bushel to the acre. That's 2.2 bushel more than the average trade guess. Soybeans are in free fall. 51.6 bushel to the acre, what the government says we'll be bringing in on average. That is brings us to about a 4.58 billion bushel record crop that's out there, 276 million bushel more than what we had previously estimated. So there's nothing going to turn this one around until the end of the day when maybe we've got some of our positions covered. So they're buying cheese like the holidays are right around the corner. Mike North from Commodity Risk Management Group in Platteville was on the radio with me this morning and said he thinks because of all the trade talk, some of those cheese purchases got kind of missed. So here we are now going into mid-August with barrel cheese up 5 1/4 cents to 162. 40-pound block cheese up a penny and a quarter at 165 3/4. Double A butter, that was the quiet one today, $2.34 a pound. But apparently, they're people too. They get distracted kind of watching the balls in the air on all the tariffs, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute. I got to start buying cheese for the holidays. So that's kind of what's going on right now, Mark, for that. Hard to believe with the weather we're looking at this weekend to even say the phrase holidays.
Well, it's not that far away.
Stop. We
got a long way to go.
That's right. That's right.
Well, have a good weekend. We'll start there.
Yeah, you too.
Let's start there. All right, Chris is here. Okay. Speaking of the weekend, looking pretty good.
That's right. It does look pretty good. And if it makes her feel any better with the holidays, I actually saw a video earlier this morning of someone's house decorated. And sure enough, I don't know. It almost got me in the spirit a little bit. But let's focus on what's out there now.
That's right. It's August.
And that's the fact that the fog we had earlier is now long gone. So visibility has added a 1 in front of a lot of those zeros that are out there, which means you can actually see when you're driving at this lunchtime hour. Now, yesterday we did get a lot of rain, just under ½ an inch of rain yesterday, and that has put us at around a third of what we normally receive in terms of rainfall for the month of August. We've got a surplus just over 4/10 of an inch for the month so far. So we're off to a wet start. Things are going to be drying up for us just a little bit as we go through the next couple of days. One of the things I do want to mention, the rain yesterday did lead to a lot of that dense fog. You can see some of that evaporating. Now, the fog around our area mainly kind of got out of here by sunrise, but just to the south, right around northern Illinois, you see that fog there initially, and that just kind of burns off with the sunrise as we go through the day. Cool things that you can see on visible cloud track. Right now, we do have a lot more sunshine out there. The temperature 79 degrees. Dew points are mainly into the low 60s for a lot of us. We'll touch on that in just a moment. 80s as you work your way over towards the west, 70s in the east. We'll watch our temperatures top out right around 82 degrees this afternoon before cooling off as we go into those dinner and evening time hours. Here are those dew points. You see some in the 50s, a lot of dew points in the low and mid 60s as well. You pull out the dew point meter, that's right around the range for a bad hair day, as you can tell with my hair there as well. It's just been a rough one, just trying to get that one to behave. But dew points are coming down as we go through the day. That's because we do have this northeasterly wind funneling in some drier air coming in off of Lake Michigan, but that's not the only dry air that we have going on. This dome of high pressure coming out of Canada isn't so much colder, but it's going to be much drier, and that's going to mean a lot more sunshine as we go into the weekend. Temperatures topping out into the 80s by your Saturday morning. We're going to start out with temperatures in the 60s. We'll warm up into the low and mid 80s again. Future tracks showing some chances for rain, but the reality is there's just not going to be a lot of moisture to do that. So get out and grill if you have the opportunity to. It's not like we have a ton more of these weekends left, so make sure that you are taking advantage of those opportunities to grill if you have those chances to do so. 82 degrees again this afternoon, partly sunny. We will be getting more and more less humid as we go through the weekend. We're seeing more sunshine for your Saturday and Sunday as well. Temperatures are going to be hanging out in the 80s because that's just where they want to be under this air mass, and I'm pretty sure we'll enjoy that as well. Monday could be a little toasty with temperatures in the upper 80s, though some of the latest model runs have shown signs that Monday could be a little bit cooler. So stay tuned to latest forecasts. We could be adjusting the numbers on Monday, but the rain chances are really held at bay as we go through the next 10 days. The rain chances that are there even aren't the most strong of rain chances either. So it's a fairly calm forecast.
Good looking weekend.
Yeah, a great looking weekend at that.
And your hair looks fine.
Well, thanks. I worked really hard.
All right. Thank you, Chris. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. I'm next. An Ohio girl is defying the odds after losing a limb. We'll have her story when we come back. People who aren't good at dancing sometimes say they have two left feet. But what about someone who has only one leg? A 7-year-old girl in Ohio is proving not only that can stop her from dancing, it isn't stopping her from living her life. Tara Molina reports.
When we first met Tessa Puma,
I'm a fighter.
she was in a hospital bed at Akron Children's.
I fight every day.
Today,
It was like really hard to get used to.
She's still fighting.
But more and more I did it, it got easier.
She's still wearing her signature bow, and she still has that contagious smile on her face. But those are the only things that haven't changed.
I didn't even think she was ever going to be able to, say, walk, or that she's going to be permanently in a wheelchair.
Tessa flipped those doubts on their head. Pretty much right away.
She went right into dance camp with her one leg and a walker.
From a walker to a cane to a few different prosthetics.
It was a bit of a daunting task just based on the demand that she puts on the prosthesis.
She found her hanger prosthetics mermaid match.
Like it just looks like it's all natural.
She's found what works.
She even says, I have to make it my way. I have to make it Tessa's way. I figure it out.
And she's worked harder.
He has to work at everything harder, 10 times harder than anybody else.
The results are on this table. In just a year and a half's time, Tessa Puma is back on the local, regional, even national stages she shined on before her fight. What's your favorite kind of dance?
Hip hop.
She's competing.
It's my favorite thing in the whole world.
And she's winning.
She does all the hard work, and we just give her the tool to use, and then she hits the ground running and flipping from there.
Her message now, for other kids, for everyone, facing a tough time, a battle, keep fighting, keep smiling, and don't be scared to get back in the dance.
Just keep on trying your best.
Remarkable young woman. Tessa lost her leg after a case of strep throat and flu that led to a rare infection. Doctors gave her just 20% chance of surviving 18 months ago, and she's proving them wrong.
Absolutely. What a story of defeating
really
the
is.
odds.
You never know.
I know. That's fantastic there. Speaking of fantastic, of course, the weekend weather will be fantastic as well, but we're going to watch those temperatures stay above average as we go through the next week and some change. Your average temperature right around 80 will be well warmer than that. But for the rest of this afternoon, expect your temperatures to top out right around 82 degrees. That humidity coming down as well.
That's the good part.
Yes, it is.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here on Monday, and we'll also see you at 4 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.